Packet lesson 5-3. Looks like it's trying to focus here. Looks like it's having some issues. Hopefully it will right itself. All right. So, boy, it's still struggling, but let's just dive in and hopefully you guys can hang. So, the key to this, you guys, number one, is dealing with negative exponents. That's why we learned it the other day, okay? Number two, it's going to deal with factoring. And number three, it's going to deal with this stuff that I've been preaching from the first day. Cross reduce, swoosh, 3/4, okay? All of that. Let's try to focus this a little bit better. All right, hopefully that fixed it. So, the first thing you guys have to know, in addition to this though, is we're going to take care of negative exponents first. Then you're going to factor stuff as much as you can, and then you're going to reduce stuff. That's really the game plan. So are there any negative exponents here? No. So now we're going to factor it. What can we do to the top? You're going to take a 2x out, and you're going to be left with x minus 2. This is a difference of two squares. So that turns into x minus 2, x plus 2. And now you cancel. Notice these are the same things. That's just like cross-reducing. And then you swoosh, and you get 2x all over x plus 2. And that would be your answer. Now, some students would be thinking, can I cancel these x's or cancel these 2's? No, because of that, okay? It just doesn't work out. So, for example, let's say I had 2 times 4 all over, I'll just make this up, 8 plus 16. Well, if I actually did the math, I'd have 8 over 8 plus 16, which is 8 over 24, which is 1/3, and that's the correct answer. But if I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this 4 out, make that a 1, I'm going to make that a 2, and then I'm going to cancel these out, I'd be left with 1/16. You see how that did not work? So if there's a plus, like there is, you can't just start chopping off pieces out of it. It just doesn't work, okay? That's a big warning right there. Now look at negative exponents. There it is. So this applies to all of this. So all that yellow stuff I need to put where it ain't. So this problem turns into x squared plus x minus 2 all over x minus 1. And now we're going to get into factoring. So we factor this. That's a good old trinomial, like so. X plus 2, x minus 1. And if you struggle with factoring still, FOIL it out just to make sure you got this. And then you put it over x minus 1. I like to put these binomials in parentheses because it helps my brain group things. In other words, I can tell that those cancel. And then I get x plus 2, and I'm done. All right, this one, no negative exponents. But what do I notice about this? I can take out a z squared right away, and I'm left with z squared minus 5z plus 6. And see, I'm not done factoring that yet, so I'm going to continue factoring it. Z squared, and then this trinomial right here turns into z and z. Two factors of positive 6 that add up to negative 5 would be negative 3 and negative 2. What can I do down here? Well, that's a z cubed. So I can take out, and that's a z squared, so I can take out a z squared, and I'd be left with z minus 3. And now because everything's connected by multiplication, I can cross these out, I can cross these out, and that'd be my final answer. That's my simplest form. This guy, I know you guys would want to cancel these out, and that would be a big no-no because that's addition, and I explained that up here. It's just a no-no. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So you have to factor it, whether you like it or not. Well, here's another one. So there's my negative 4. Two factors of negative 4 that add up to positive 3. That'd be 4 and negative 1. So I'm going to rewrite this using my factor by grouping. 2x squared. Now I have a choice to make. I'm going to write the -1 first or the 4 first. I've been encouraging you to write the -1 first. And then you put the +1 second. So we have that plus there. Just seems to work out better. Now we're going to insert our parentheses like we've been doing. Factor whatever we can out of there. X, 2x minus 1. Then we take a 2 out of here, and we're left with 2x minus 1. And so I take this 2x minus 1 out. See, this is just a lot of work. Times x plus 2. Now I got to do the same thing here. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 factors of 6 to add up to -7. That'd be -6 and -1. Remember, we had a positive and a negative, and I said, hey, put the -1 first. See, we have no choice here. 2x squared, I'm just going to go with this one next, minus 6x. And if you have to write a negative for your second one, go plus a -1x plus 3. Insert your parentheses. What can I take out of here? 2x. What's left? X minus 3. This is where I encourage you guys to cheat. When I say cheat, I don't really mean cheat. I mean take advantage of what you know. In order for this one to keep going, these two things have to match. But what do I have to take out of this to make it look like this? -1. So I'm ready for almost my last step. I take these out, x minus 3, and whatever's left, 2x minus 1 is left. And look at, you got a pair of those. So you're left with x plus 2 all over x minus 3, and there you're done. All right, almost done. We got to take care of negative exponents first, and it's right here. So I got to put all that where it ain't. So the top stays like this. The bottom turns into this. I know you're going to be tempted to cross these out, but you can't. How can I factor this? Well, you can take an x squared out. You'd be left with x squared minus 1. Now, I know this is a difference of two squares, where I could make it x minus 1, x plus 1. But I'm not going to continue because I can see something cooking down here. Just because I've got a little experience, I say, wait a minute, this one looks weird. But I know what it is. It's a difference of two squares. It just looks weird. Remember how this factored into this? So we take the square root of that, we put it first, and we take the square root of that, we put that stuff second. We're going to do that here. Take the square root of that, which is x squared. And then we're going to take the square root of that, which is 1 and 1. One of them's got to be plus, one of them's got to be minus. And you remember, those square roots really weren't in there. So this would just cancel with this, and I'd be left with x squared all over x squared plus 1. No, you can't cross those out. All right. Okay. So this one right here, what does this turn into? Well, it's s minus t squared. That does not equal s squared plus t squared. You do not square this and square that and call it good. What you do is you think of it like this. And then you've got this, t minus t squared minus s squared. So this is a difference of two squares. So I put the square root of the first thing first, put the square root of the second thing second. One of them's plus, one of them's minus. And the first thing I do is I go on the hunt for exact same binomials. Do you see it anywhere? Me neither. So what do? Well, I got to teach you guys something. If I go 3 minus 7, and then I go 7 minus 3, isn't that the same thing as a minus b all over b minus a? This is the algebra. This is the numbers. So let's figure out what the numbers are. 3 minus 7 is -4. 7 minus 3 is 4, which is -1. Here's what I'm trying to teach you. If you notice you have exact opposites, that's just going to equal -1. It's just like this, but this has letters, this has numbers. Numbers we can understand. Letters is an algebra form. of numbers. So when we notice this, it's just going to cancel, but it creates a -1. Is that happening here? Yes. Look at S, negative t, positive t. So I'm going to cross these out, but that creates a -1. Now, are these exact opposites? No. Are they exactly the same? No. So guess what? It's stuck. So -1 times S minus t all over t plus s. Now, there's different variations of this. They might distribute that negative through and get -s plus t all over t plus s. So there's quite a few different variations of the same answer right there. All right. Well, so the last thing we're going to do is take a look at the back side of this, and we're going to take a look at, again, take a look at the pre-lesson for this stuff. Domain is what causes, I got to pause this a second.